Hi, good evening. This is Professor Srilekha from HLA area. I'm the area chair, and Professor Vijay as a coordinator of this area, and Professor Payal Dev, who will be floating this course, policy design. And the best part is many students enrolled this course last year, though it was the first time ma'am was, she joined that time and she floated this course and it went very well. That's the best part of HLA area. We started, I think, 3 years back, this area, but one of the course, corporate fraud, is also included in this elective course. Professor Patra will be taking this course. This also worked in HHM very well. So I'll just hand over to ma'am. She will explain in more deeply about this course.
Thank you, Professor Srilekha. All right, so let me just begin. Firstly, an overwhelming crowd here for the presentation. that tells how HLA area is regarded. I don't know how many of you take HLA area seriously, but humanities and liberal arts is something that binds everything together, right? In a B school, communications is also part of it. But when we talk about humanities and liberal arts, we are looking at social sciences, and liberal arts talks about the application of everything that we do around us, right? So my elective here, in fact, I have 3 electives here in IIM Bodh Gaya for 3 different programs. And all the 3 electives are primarily looking at the job market of 2030. Okay, so the World Economic Forum talks about some changes, a lot of dynamic shifts in the job market from 2025 to 2030. That's post-COVID. And we have also witnessed those changes in terms of how organizations are recruiting on campuses. So these courses are going to add to your skills, to your CV, and not just for now, but for the next 4 or 5 years. That's why we are talking about the changes in future of work, and that's primarily where my elective is based at for the MBA. Okay, in the MBA we are talking about future of work, and that's why my course is called Policy Design for Future Proofing Work. Okay, so you're future proofing your work situation. What is this course exactly? So firstly, I'll be introducing this course, not introducing, I'll be continuing. The course got introduced last year. I had 62 students, very hardworking students, 11 capstone projects. This was in term 4, 1.5 credits. Term 4, why? Because when you come back from internships, right, your summer internships, I've observed 40% of you come back with some sort of regulatory or policy experience during your internships in all functional areas, whether it is finance, marketing, HR, IT, there is something that you do related to policy. So when you come back to campus and you sort of delve into a course in policy design, it gives you an understanding of how you basically you transition or you add on to your management skills with some sort of policy and regulatory perspective or different things. Now, just to give you a perspective of policy design, this course is not a pure public policy course, it's a policy design course. Policy design in a B school is something that gives you a 360-degree view, a complete vision of how the world works. So policy design tells you how you're framing, you're developing policies and how you're applying those things in the business world, how you deal with complexities. That is what policy design is. Now, when you mix policy design with your work, basically future of work situation, you are taking care not just of the understanding of what's happening in different areas, functional areas or different sectors, which you witness during your internships, but also how you look at regulations and other challenges around it. Okay, so a lot of thought has gone behind this one course, and now it has some sort of a global brand value also, which I'll talk about a little later. So now, why we're talking about this course and linking it with the job market, on LinkedIn if you see, there are a lot of entry-level jobs that you will find on public policy. Okay, but they're not pure public policy jobs because when we talk about those aspects, they are mostly into politics or policy advocacy. Here, the jobs we have on LinkedIn It's primarily on understanding regulation and applying it. That's where my course fits in, and it gives you the tools to address these kind of jobs that you will see maybe on Ernst& Young or maybe government consulting jobs. Okay, this course is going to give you those skills. Now the relevance of this course, now updated relevance of this course. Last year it was introductory. This year the budget of 2026, 2027 has a lot of things that talks about, that uses words like deregulation, that talks about things like, something that privatizes or looks into ways in which you devolve power and move outside governance, okay, for decision making. So that's where these kind of, the course that I introduced and this kind of thought helps, because when we talk about deregulation, we are looking for how government is making policies outside the government agencies. Okay, so consulting firms and individuals really are enabling the thought on decision making and public policies in different domains of the private sector also. Particularly if we look at things like ESG, digital infrastructure sector, MSMEs, fintech, okay, and then of course there are different jobs that are evolving in all these areas. So these 5, 6 areas that you look at plays or gives you the relevance of this course, the applied relevance of this course, and of course there are different organizations that are already providing these roles. So I have summed this up. You can have a look at the presentation. Now these will be the contents of my course. There will be 10 sessions, 1.5 credit course, 10 sessions where we will talk about future of work. We'll talk about systems thinking. Systems thinking is something that again addresses challenges, how we solve challenges through a multi-dimensional approach. We'll be using some sort of applied policy analysis tools. We'll be talking about geopolitics and mobility, especially regulations in different sectors. Some sort of emerging sectors, like last year we did projects on nuclear and we did projects on female workforce labor participation. So all these areas are applied, and this course has 50% capstone component, which means that you will be putting down whatever you do in this course on your CV. These are the list of 11 projects that we did last year, and you can see the brands. Okay, you can first just quickly go through the topics, and these are the different brands that the students work with. It's a mix of private sector, public sector, and some think tanks. Okay, think tanks like the CRF is, anybody knows what CRF is? Heard of CRF? Chintan Research Foundation. So Chintan Research Foundation is the newest think tank set up by the Adanis. Alright, so this particular think tank, we did the project on nuclear fusion, the evolution of nuclear fusion. Then Nikor Associates again is a very big name in the policy domain. Asian Development Bank, you all know. The Doon School, right? How many of you know the Doon School? In fact, one of the students is working on one of the projects. Deloitte, the Bihar State Sports Authority. So all these were the different agencies that participated. They helped out in developing these projects. And the name of the experts are also there. This was one of the key achievements that we saw. The Doon School project was actually, it is still in implementation, but the students got a lot of limelight. There was a poster. So Doon School celebrated its 90 years, and the poster the work that they did was all put on the poster, and the 6 students that you can see, I think from this, 4 of them are already placed in a very good organization right now. They've already moved and started working as well. They, along with the Nest Society of the Doon School, the second achievement of this capstone has been presentation. We provided some policy recommendations to the MEX program. This is the Modern Energy Cooking Service program in the UK. So Professor Nick had come to IIM Bodh Gaya, and 2 of the students who are working on a capstone project, they gave some recommendations. Then we had a guest lecture here by one expert from the UNDP and the World Economic Forum. Mr. Jayant was there. Then we had some observers from KPMG and the government of Bihar Department of Education, who just came and observed and gave some of the views. This is how the briefing sessions look like, the Capstone briefing session. This is with the Asian Development Bank, Nicole Associates, and the Chintan Research Foundation. Professor Palit here is one of the 2% Stanford scientists here. So all very good experts. Now, just to close, this is for HHM. This is about me. Now, another sort of credibility is that I am this year's one of the Energy Dozen Women. This is one of the awards given by UN Women and also UN Women and the European Union delegation in India. So I'll be helping out in, for 1 year in all kinds of green energy policies for the country. And yes, that's it. If you have any queries and suggestions, please sort of scan this QR code. If you have any further questions, you can put it on the website, and the website is fully functional. You can go through any other information that you want on the website on this elective. The presentation also is on the website. I think that's it. If you have any questions right now, you can ask.